This is Michael Bean from Aliens, Terminator, Planet Terror, and the Abyss. Don't forget Tombstone. Well, take this advice. Don't go out there! Stay frosty.
They've conquered the big screen. Now, get ready for the spin-off sure to send chills down your spine. It's Nico, Brian, Mike, and Dustin in Don't Go Out There, the series.
Welcome back, everybody, to DGOT, the series. We really appreciate y'all listening. We hope y'all have been enjoying these series reviews. I know we have. It's been a lot of fun. Just want to give a quick shout out to our website, don'tgooutthere.com. Everything about our podcast is on the website. All of our episodes and interviews, if you want to check those out. We've done some incredible interviews in the past. Go check them out there in a specific tab by themselves so you don't have to scroll through hundreds of episodes on Apple or Spotify, etc. We also have our store if you want to grab a shirt, a mouse pad, a hat, all that good stuff. We'd love to see your pictures, rep your favorite podcast. And Shan's Etsy page is also attached if you want to grab a tumbler. All of our social media links are on there as well. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Like us, subscribe us, follow us, all that good stuff. And the last thing I want to shout out on our website is our Patreon. We call it Blood Donors. We have the traditional monthly reoccurring kind. If you want to support us, help us pay the bills, as we say. Or if there's a movie you want us to review, that option is available as well. Just check out our website, don'tgooutthere.com. Also, if you haven't noticed, we've recently joined the Believe Network. So there's some ads on our program now. But if you want ad-free content, go check us out on Blood Donors. The ad-free episodes will be available there. We appreciate your support. Continue on with Alien Earth, episode 5. I'll give my quick general thoughts, and then Brian, you can go. I thought, this episode kind of gave me what I was asking for, just mindless, senseless alien action. And, I thought the episode was pretty good. I would pick the first episode to do the scene-by-scene for with the cast members where I had to learn all the new names again, so good for me. But, I thought this was a solid episode. It was fun. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, last week I was hesitant on this. And I've been vocal in the past, as we all have, really, on flashback episodes with these series that we've been doing. Usually it's just some character insight or background that we really didn't need. But, man, this one was just so damn good. It actually progressed the main story as a flashback episode. I mean, I've done a complete 180 on Morrow, too. I mean, we find out the real bad guy here is old British Knights, old BK here. We found out why the ship crash landed, and I loved it. Now there was a few times I rolled my eyes, but we'll get to it. And I like that it wasn't the first episode because, it could have been. But the show allowed us to make those assumptions of those characters that pretty much all proved to be wrong, like Morrow in my case, and then pull the rug out from under you. So, more than halfway through, I'm still on board. Like, it was definitely a top 2, if not 1 episode thus far of the series for me. But I don't know. I just made the decision on the fly. It was my favorite one thus far.
Yeah, as someone who has enjoyed, I like the Wendy story. Like, we've talked about this. I like that existential dread that the show has given us so far. But I got to admit, and Brian kind of made fun of me before we started recording, but this episode's awesome, man. This is really, really good stuff. Really fun. The flashback is great. And I've already been on the character Morrow. Okay. I think I was first to just go full send. To me, he's Stone Cold Steve Austin, right? Like, he's the anti-hero, and he definitely is the anti-hero of this show, right? He proves to be a stone cold badass, for lack of a better term. And I love that we get backstory with him. I like, as you guys know, stuff that's contained to one set. This is very much that, and I enjoy that experience. I enjoy the full ride, and the last 10 minutes when the xenomorphs appear and shit goes all over the fucking place is awesome. Really fun, really action packed. I can't complain. As someone who's liked the story of the other 4 episodes so far, I would not be against more of this as the series goes forward. I will be honest with you, mixed in with the story that I've liked so far.
Well, for context, I didn't make fun of you. I just said, "Oh,
Well, I
so
don't
you
like the first Alien
1?
that much. I don't like that movie that much, though, right? So, like, I get the making fun of me because it's true. It's almost beat by beat condensed, right? It's almost like, yeah, we're going to take a couple notes out, but this is pretty much the same damn song, right? So, I get it.
I mean, did we dislike the Alien movie? Did we get any bad reviews or something about that? I can't remember.
Definitely not. No, I don't think so.
According to
I
Apple
mean, we gave that movie
Podcasts,
we gave
we
the movie a
loved
fair
Alien.
score. Like,
dude, we gave it like 7s and 8s. Like, what? It's because we thought the first hour is boring, and it is. It is boring. So if you're, something tells me you still listen to this show as like a hate listen. Guess what? The first half of Alien is fucking boring. Okay, there you go.
Well,
Yeah,
speaking of Alien geniuses and people that know everything about Alien, Dustin, what did you think about this episode?
About me being an Alien 1 expert, but I will say hate watches are still watches, right? Yeah, I think this episode is okay. I mean, when I saw flashback episode, I was kind of unsure, but then I see the rating, and I was like, okay, maybe it's going to be good. But yeah, I think overall it's solid, but it's not my favorite.
all right, guys, let's jump into the scene by scene. The episode starts with title card and flashbacks of our crew from the beginning, with camera panning through the ship and the alarm going off. 17 days from Earth. Morrow is awakened and told there's a fire in containment by Clem. He tells him a creature is loose and Captain is dead. Morrow and Clem make it to the others and see 2 of their crew with facehuggers attached. Raheem attempted surgery, but their blood is acid. Morrow asks what caused the fire, and Zaverny asks, how do we get them off? Zaverny makes orders, and they all get after it. Schumer tells Morrow they were a spaceship, now they're a missile, and he's off to fix it. Clem and Chibouzo check a room out, but oddly enough, containment hasn't been broken. Morrow tells Zaverny incompetence or sabotage are the likeliest scenarios. Morrow calls bullshit on the exact panel that controls navigation and speed failing. He tells her to call a ship-wide warning. He calls her out for fucking Bronsky, and it's against company policy. He calls her distracted and threatens to take command himself. Pressure is on her, as he says it's his responsibility to get the cargo back with or without the crew. He threatens her and says, issue the warning. Raheem compliments smart, stupid people. You can build ships, but you don't bring back the parasites back with you. Ting is gawking and reaching at a girl asleep in a pod very creepily, and Raheem walks away. Morrow watches one of the creatures ripping a cig, then walks the room, closing an open door. He finds a hole melted away in the steel flooring and realizes shit's not good. He watches monitors, hearing the fire alarm going off. He sees facehuggers escape and attack the 2 men. He keeps watching and sees an unknown person on a monitor and asks, who are you? All right, Brian, that's the opening set of scenes. What'd you think?
Okay, so the opening is once again fucking amazing. I'll say it again, every single series from here on out will have to live up to this opening. The shots of the Magino flickering from light to dark, and, like the OG, those corridors sort of mirroring H.R. Geiger's xenomorph design, which we pointed out in our review of that. So you never knew where the alien was lurking once it got dark because it blended in with that. And I love its return here in the series. Junior security officer Clem is annoying as fuck trying to explain what's going on here. It gets more annoying later, but I love they call him chlamydia too. It cracks me up. But it won't be the last time that one of these crew members are annoying as AF, in my opinion. But what I love is you're seeing this from Morrow's perspective, like we talked about a little bit before we aired. We're kind of waking up right in the middle of the shit, and we don't have like an hour of build up. And again, I say we could do that because Alien 1 walked, so this could run. And then we wake up in the middle of the shit and we're trying to figure out what's going on with him. And I think it's amazing writing. I love it. Speaking of writing, one of those creators and writers, we've talked about him before, Noah Hawley, once again back to direct this one. I think he did an amazing job. And while some got on my nerves in a couple of scenes coming up, the dialogue here was pretty damn good. Like I mentioned, when Clem was waking up Morrow, but also where we're with the engineer talking about how it's proof how stupid smart people can be, smart enough to split the atom, but not smart enough to bring parasites home with you. Dustin texted me that night that he took that as bringing home women as parasites, but I told him, I said, don't say that on here. One thing I didn't really love is Mr. Tang. Like, he's creepy in like a sexual predator way for literally no reason. I mean, it never comes into play anywhere. And maybe it was supposed to make him like a red herring. I don't know, but I never really looked at him that way. Now, had that girl that he was perving out on woke up, ended up killing him or something, now that would make sense. Otherwise, I don't know. It just kind of felt unnecessary to me, unless there was something that they cut, which I do wonder about. And it is interesting that they put in the fact that a lot of the crew is sleeping together. Here, again, you brought up Zaviri and Bronsky, because in the OG, that's something Ripley wanted to add in there. I said Ripley, but I meant Ridley Scott. Ridley wanted to add in there, but it got cut. You know, I think we talked about that when we reviewed it too, with Ripley and the captain sleeping together. But another great open. It feels like a fantastic slow burn mystery that kind of plays out through the whole episode. And honestly, a movie in itself to me.
Yeah, this does kind of work as a standalone, and I think that works to its benefit. Still loosely ties, obviously, right? But I think if you watch this one episode, this hour-long episode, on its own and didn't watch the rest of the series, I think it could stand alone. Obviously, it helps to already know the character Morrow, but still. I'm going to go ahead and get this all out of the way up front so I don't repeat myself. I said I was going to start doing that. Great cinematography on this episode. The look of this ship, the effects, all of that is fantastic. Love the way this shot. And I actually will still call out a couple shots that I really loved that they did. But the editing here I thought was excellent as well. Okay, sorry. My nose scrolled all the way up for no damn reason. All right, first of all, I just want to say, these pods look like they're pretty comfy to sleep in, man. You know, they look like those hotels in Japan where you just kind of rent the pod for the night. You know what I'm talking about? That's what this looks like. I could sleep in these little frozen cryogenic pods, especially if I get to nap for, 30-something years. Isn't that what they said? Hell yeah, brother, let's go. Anyway, I love that, you know, it made me laugh that he called him chlamydia, like you mentioned. And I just got to say, Morrow is fucking hilarious. He's definitely my favorite character of this TV series so far, hands down. I think he's the most interesting. He's the most captivating. They give him the best stuff to do. He's great. This is definitely a Morrow episode, and I think I'm glad they did it. I love the line that we were a spaceship, now we're a missile. I thought that's kind of dooming. I thought that was well written. For a TV series, the shots they use, the effects are great. Not as great as Jason X was in space. I mean, I think we just got to be honest. Definitely the best space horror we've done. I mean, let's just be honest here, right? I didn't see no cryogenic head kill in this fucking show. No, little face splattering. Didn't fucking think so. No one saw that X-Files episode, Brian. Come on, man. Anyway, except for you, I guess. It's only the most popular show in the world at one point. The X-Files. Sorry. Anyway, I do like the back and forth between him and Zoya. You know, she kind of stands up for herself. I like their character dynamic throughout the whole episode. By the way, people are smoking cigarettes and cigars. They never said what time this takes place in, at least this episode, unless I missed it and it's all the same time. I'm just saying they're still smoking cigarettes and cigars. Man, haven't we moved on from that if we're in the future? I don't know. Same thing with the people and the way they talk. I feel like they would have their own lingo by now. Anyway, great shot down through the grates, for lack of a better term. I think that looks really good. Throws the cigar down. That could start a fire. When this happened, I thought, is he going to be the one that's trying to sabotage his own ship? But no, he is not. Last thing, this man has a security camera set up like Jigsaw, which I thought was interesting. Go ahead.
Like I said, flashback episode. Yay. But also, like I said, last week I told y'all this is the highest rated episode of the season, so I am encouraged. I understand why Morrow turned on everyone. I mean, you wake me up and yap in my ear nonstop. Yeah, you're now an enemy. Hearing what all went wrong on the ship, that adds very good context, so I do like that a lot. I will say, though, it is a bit odd seeing all the various alien life forms in this series. I mean, in the movies, we pretty much only see face huggers and xenomorphs. And there might be a couple others, but this takes place, earlier in the timeline than all but 2 movies. So it seems like we would have seen all of these species in the movies if they had already been discovered. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but that kind of bothers me. But it's a decent open.
Back to the chambers, and Zaverny flashes back to getting her shit whooped, and Morrow watches on, which was very creepy. She pours some powder from a container that says Utah on it on his pod. Almost home, babe, as she gets teary-eyed. We see the facehugger tighten up around his neck. Shmuel and Malachite are working and chatting until Shmuel tries to trick him out of half of a pie. Morrow asks about repairs and requests blueprints. Morrow says for them to say nothing or they will lose their share. Morrow puts a blade to Clem's throat after he says he could have done the sabotage based on the film. Morrow gives him a gun and he tells him someone deleted all the communication files. Innocent people don't destroy evidence. Zaverny chats with the mother, informing her of Captain's death. She acknowledges that cargo is top priority to her dismay. Morrow looks through some pictures as Raheem apologizes to the captain. It should have been me. Morrow flashes back to he and his daughter on the beach with a fire, telling her where he's going and how to communicate. We see him get emotional, reading a letter informing him of his daughter's death in a fire. He awakes when the ship rocks and joins Zaverny, Ting, and Shmuel. They only have 8% of fuel until an alarm goes off. Cryopod quarantine breach. The facehugger broke out and is free now. Raheem asks how big can it get. Morrow orders them to shoot with electric guns, non-lethal, and capture, not kill. Chibuzo is eating and we get a POV shot of something circling her. She sets her water bottle down and the water leaks onto the table. One of the creatures escapes from the top of the container as Eyeball Critter knocks on his container. The escaped critter drinks water spilled and Raheem captures it and puts it back in the container. The two head back and she grabs her water that's been contaminated. We see one of the monitors are red as well. The octopus eye knocks his pod to the ground and escapes. All right, Brian, that's the next set of scenes. What'd you think? And forgive me, I did not learn all these little alien specific names. So, yeah, it's going to be like roach creature and eyeball octopus thing. So, don't kill me, alien diehards.
You're good. We'll get an Apple Podcast review. Look, very nice touch at the start of this, how we see Zaveri visiting her booty call Bronsky with the hugger on his face in that pod. And the sharp, loud music spikes as we see the flashbacks. But especially nice how that hugger's tail wraps tighter around his neck after she leaves. You know, I mean, look, no offense to Rika Morjani, but her acting was, let me just say I didn't buy that she was upset. That's probably the nicest way for me to put it. But the music was really fantastic there. Malachite being a fucking idiot and not knowing the difference between geology and biology cracked me up. This crew is full of imbeciles. Like if Alien Covenant existed, which it doesn't, because that movie doesn't exist, but if it did, it would rival the idiotic crew of that one. Can I also just say, again, the set design of the ship is so damn perfect. I mean, everything is almost identical to the Nostromo in the first one. Fun fact, I beat Mike in a battle of wits with that question. I answered it before he could cheat and look it up.
Oh, brother. Oh, jeez. Anyway.
All right. Anyway. When Zaveri is talking to Mother, even the sound of it booting up is exactly like Dallas did in the OG. I mean, just ask Dustin. Like I said, he's an expert on the first movie. And I do love the way that they shoot this moment, though, with her and the screen in focus, just allowing them to have a conversation. I love how the computer asks her to acknowledge and then threatens her with giving the command to Morrow. Damn. Lastly, on this set of scenes, I know it's a little slower, but I loved seeing Morrow reading the letters from his daughter. Like, it really humanized him, and it reminded me a lot of the start of Aliens when they find Ripley, and by then her daughter had already grown old and passed away herself. You know, although if you play Alien Isolation, you do find out the shit that he went through looking for Ripley. But it really did pull at my heartstrings here with Morrow learning his daughter died at 19. You know, I mean, look, weird comparison, but it kind of reminded me of reading through the diaries in the Resident Evil video games and slowly seeing the story play out over them. Last thing I'll say about this, it has to do with the eyeball alien getting out. You would think that a containment vessel for unknown alien life forms would be made out of something that wasn't, you know, shatterproof. But hey, plot. Another A-plus group of scenes here.
You're a lot more intellectually sound and intelligent than me, because my first line of my notes says she was getting her shit split on a spaceship. Say that 5 times fast for me, if you could. Anyway, that's what it says. I mean, she was, no doubt about it. I mean, good for her, man. Everybody's got to do what they got to do. Still human. Again, like the more backstory we're given the character of Morrow, Like we've all mentioned, but I put it here in my notes, so I'm going to say it. Feels like a condensed version of the first Alien movie, albeit more entertaining. Shout out to that guy in the Apple Podcast comments. The scene on the beach learning about Morrow's daughter, very sad, very heartbreaking. Like I mentioned, kind of makes his fuel for his reason for, or one of his reasons for the way he is, understandable, right? I mean, again, it's just starting to pile up and we're starting to slowly kind of pull back the layers of the character. Definitely the most interesting one. I actually like this group's dynamic, which I think can make or break an Alien movie. We've talked about that in the past with Romulus and other ones where like the group dynamic matters a ton for me on this ship. Do I like the characters? Do I care about the characters? I find their group dynamic to be entertaining. And yeah, so these eyeball aliens, again, I'm like you, Nico, I don't fucking know their names, and I'm not going to know their names, okay? But these eyeball aliens freak me the fuck out. I mean, they're weird. They're eyeballs with like 4 eyeballs on them with octopus legs. What the fuck are we doing here? It kind of looks like the toy that Sid plays with in Toy Story. The baby head with the fucking robot spider legs. I think that's how they look. It looks cool. Last thing I have here, which is I screamed at the TV when this crawly thing goes into her pieces of bread or her sandwich or whatever. Ugh, that makes my skin crawl. I have accidentally picked up a sandwich one time and it had a roach on that bitch. Shout out to the Lake Wells Family YMCA.
Send
Man
Keith
called
Lee.
him out.
Send Keith Lee to go fix their reputation.
Yeah, I laughed when Raheem said, "Sorry, Captain, it should have been me," and then looked up and said, not yet. Like, that was funny. Seeing Morrow's backstory adds mystique to his character. Morrow, much like ogres, has layers, like an onion. You know what else has layers? Parfaits. Anyway, shout out to Shrek. This set of scenes was really tough for me to take notes on. Not much really happened, and nothing really stood out, except for the terrible design of that container and how horrible Chibuzo's awareness was. Like, how do you not see that thing escape? Also, I hated the one species tapping the glass trying to alert her. That was corny to me. Like, I don't need any alien species trying to be noble heroes in this franchise, but we are moving along.
All right, spaceship view with ominous score as everyone makes it to the dinner table. Zaverny starts the meeting and says Bronsky is dead and the creature escaped. It's a xenomorph, but growing fast. Tang throws her under the bus about the fuel reserve. She informs there's a saboteur on board and on-board movement is forbidden. Malachite continues to be childish as we see critters swimming in the water bottle. Malachite takes a big swig of the water as Morrow makes demands of what he needs. Only he and Zaverny have guns until he can trust them. He offers a ward for information on an arrest. Zaverny dismisses them and they part ways. Zaverny asks Chibuzo if she sabotaged the ship. She denies and they get to work. Morrow interrogates Raheem and questions why he was 10 minutes off camera, and he has no explanation. Morrow death stares him until he cracks and says, "I just want to go home, man," and I feel you on that, brother. Shmuel and Malachite are back to work as he asks about his plan with his shares. He says he's been here for 65 years as Malachite says he thinks he ate too much. He goes to get a wrench, but he throws up blood. He falls over and Shmuel yells for help. Chibuzo panics, realizing the eye is loose. Shit's hitting the fan fast around here. The lady sealed the door to go help Raheem as Morrow and Tang chat. Morrow calls out Tang for assaulting the woman in the cryopod. He questions how he bypassed the key logs. Tang says it's right in front of your eyes, but you aren't seeing it. Someone else is awake. Who? Morrow watches more film as he finds a video of Cavalier and Petrovich plotting on the cargo. Morrow is ticked and grabs his gun. He begins looking around and sees Petrovich is missing. Containment threat Medbay 1 alarms. He tells Zaverny who it is, and the doc tells them what they see with Malachite. Zaverny orders for the surgery to be done. A xenomorph from above attacks Tang as Raheem finds his esophagus lined with ticks. He makes a puncture by mistake and gas leaks and the two fall over. Morrow orders the room sealed. They look in and they realize they're all dead. Brian, that's the next set of scenes. What do you think? And the next set is the ending.
Damn Petrovich. Damn Ruskies. Am I right? Anyway, this scene at the start of this is what I was referring to. My least favorite scene. Like, it was annoying as fuck from so many aspects to me. First of all, there's way too many conversations going on that we can hear. And when Zaverny does start talking, Malachite not shutting the fuck up drove me absolutely batshit crazy. Like, I got legitimately mad during this scene. Anyway, if you're eagle-eyed, You'd notice the two nodding bird things on the table behind them. You'll recognize them from the OG as well as making a return in Romulus. I'll say I also didn't love the fake out with Malachi. Like, I get what they were trying to do with playing with your expectations, with the chain dangling down in the shadows, and you immediately think, oh shit, it's a xenomorph tail. And we saw the scene pretty much play out exactly the way in Alien, but boom, it's a fake out. But Malachi throws up and falls to the ground, while we also find out that the old Eye of Sauron, that's what I'm just going to make up names for the Eye alien now, since we're just throwing all that out the window. So the Eye of Sauron got out. So basically everyone's fucked because of your stupidity. As the Bobs say in Office Space, what would you say you do here? This is where everything goes to hell, though, and this is nice. This episode really ramps it up, in my opinion. Tang revealing that the saboteur is someone that they think has been asleep. That was a nice touch. But also, fuck you, Tang, for not saying that shit earlier, you creepy fuck. But then we see Smoke and Gun with Boy talking to Petrovich, and we find out the Cavalier isn't just an asshole. He is the fucking bad guy, not Morrow. And I can't wait to see how he fucking kills him for this. Flashback to episode 1, though, Petrovich is the one who tells him about Boy and who he even is. Obviously we know now that's because he's been talking to him. And remember him being told not to eat such a big meal before cryo sleep? Well, now we know he's not been sleeping. And it also explains why Morrow was so obsessed with finding out who Boy was after that crash. So I also like seeing the scanner used on Malachi, call back an exact same one that we saw used on Kane in the first one. And the effects on the doctor trying to remove the parasites was insanely good. Fantastic job all around, in my opinion, to the entire Weta Workshop crew for that one.
Yeah, I already kind of mentioned it, but I really like that this episode contains itself to basically one location, right? It's all on the ship, right? And again, when that's the focus and the only focus and we don't over confuse it, I think that this is really good stuff. I will say, I don't know why everyone's fighting back against Morrow here. Like, I know he's a dick, but it's pretty clear he's trying to do the right thing. Everyone kind of makes themselves look guilty when, like, kind of bitching about how Morrow's giving direction. No, man, fuck that. And also, I'm glad you pronounced his name, Brian, because I couldn't pronounce his name, but I do know that he's a fucking traitor. Okay. Did you say Petrie? Yeah, Petrie from Land Before Time, one of those. I don't know. No,
Petrovich. He's a Rusky.
Petrovich. It sounds like that dude from the season 3 from Stranger Things. Yeah, same name, yeah. Whatever. Yeah, or season 4. Season 4.
The papers.
Season. God damn it, they all run together. It's been a decade since the last season of fucking Stranger Things. Anyway, totally different show. Rant for later. By the way, speaking of great stuff here, Nico is great in this scene when he's talking to Morrow. I don't know what you're talking about. I think he comes in with a banger of a performance. Good shit, my brother. I will tell you right now.
I had no idea where you're going with that.
Nico, you creepy motherfucker.
I didn't think he was that creepy. Come on, he's fine. Ting's all right. Chin's creepy. All right. Whatever. One of those. I wouldn't do this.
Creepy?
I mean, he's a bald Asian guy like my brother Nico. What's the difference?
Well, man, I mean, he's been watching that girl in cryo sleep and probably beating his schlong to him.
Oh, that's true. Well, yeah, you kind of. Sorry, Nico, you played a creepy guy. Good job, brother. Good job.
Damn it, Nico.
Portrayed it well. I would have
paid for.
That's why you make, man. That's why you make the big bucks to fund the show. That's why you do what you do, and I appreciate you, buddy. And your hat doesn't say "Ass Pro Shops" tonight, so that's good stuff. I wouldn't. Anyway, back to the show. I wouldn't do this surgery. Like, I'd have probably ixnayed this idea that they had. I'd have put them in the pod, froze them, because clearly that fucks up everything. So, in the words of Gary Bertier, sometimes you got to cut a man loose, right? I mean, come on. He could have been the one sabotaging this thing, Come on. I will say great effects when they open up the body, the surgery effects. I don't have a ton on this set of scenes. I will say this is where they start to kick up the volume a little bit for me, and I really like where they're headed. Great shot coming out of his body with these bug leech aliens kind of crawling around. I thought they did a good job. That's a cool-ass shot. And we're about to get a whole set of scenes that's nothing but cool-ass shots. So, what a great way to kick that off.
Yeah, tension really picks up here at the meeting. Good stuff. Morrow is strictly business, cold-blooded, killer. Great touch to have the lights go out as Chibuzo realizes one species escaped. Very tense moment. And then Tang. Tang is so weird, man. Like, if I'm Morrow, I'm probably just killing him right here. Just be normal. God. I like seeing BK talking to Petrovic. Major development, and it makes his first interaction with Slightly much more meaningful. Or it makes Morrow's first interaction with Slightly more meaningful. Sorry. And it's a very frantic, intense scene as the surgery goes awry, and I'm ready for the ending.
Clem runs to them and says it got Tang, but he's not sure what it was, but it was big. Morrow sets out a plan how to survive. Morrow tells Zaverny he's taking over as captain and to move her ass. Clem asks what about us concerning shooting them with electric guns. Petrovich opens fire on them, hitting Clem. Morrow pulls him into another room to safety, telling him to hang in there. Petrovich shoots Clem in the head, killing him, and Morrow hits some razzle-dazzle moves and stabs him from behind, questioning him. He removes the blade, and we see the eye creature and bugs crawling around the ship. The bug-like critters burrow into Clem's head. Zaverny pours out the rest of the Utah powder, still frozen, not able to move as a xenomorph drops behind her. She goes to pull her gun, but it trips her with its tail. She runs off and is pursued by the xenomorph. She hides momentarily, but runs off from xenomorph again. She seals off a door, calling for Shmuel, who doesn't answer her, standing stoically. She realizes the eye creature has infected him. Shmuel attacks her now as the xenomorph crawls away on the roof. Morrow tries to enter the room, but must force the door open. He sees Zaverny on the floor and Shmuel standing, pointing the gun at him. The xenomorph appears behind now, and he zaps it with electricity and pushes him over, escaping. Shmuel jumps on the xenomorph and attacks. Zaverny seizes the moment to try and escape. The eye creature escapes and attacks the xenomorph as Zaverny bangs on the door to Morrow. However, he seals the door, trapping her outside. She's attacked and killed as Morrow says, crew status dead. Collision course to Earth unavoidable. Morrow gets into the impact room, narrowly escaping death. Morrow meets with Yutani, catching her up on everything that happened. He says he will kill the one called Cavalier. He says lawyers won't work. We have to do this my way. Yutani tells her people whatever he wants, he gets as the episode ends.
Surprise, motherfucker! Chlamydia getting taken out by Petrovich just bam out of nowhere in the head was another fantastic shot with great effects, very shocking. But then Morrow stabbing him and lifting him up looked a lot like when the Alien Queen got Bishop at the end of the second one. Just, you know what I'm talking about. Nitpick of mine again involves Zaveri, though, when she comes face to face with the xenomorph. First of all, I've said this before, but I don't like the lighting on the xenomorph in this show. It works better in the dark, like Jaws. Don't show it as much. And why does it suddenly play with its food here and not just kill Zaveri? Also, no way she outruns that. So that was ridiculous. But fun fact, the crew rigged up water hoses for the drool or slime or whatever the fuck they call it. So it really could pump that through the mouth and just look gross. The crew referred to the xenomorph rig as Steve for some reason as well. And I do like the reveal that Zaveri sealed off the bridge to block the xenomorph's, infiltration there. But in the process, she, accidentally, inadvertently, whatever you want to say, kind of impeded Morrow's entry, which was not shown in the pilot episode. We saw the other side, so I liked that. But in turn, Morrow said, fuck you, and sealed off Zaveri's access to the Mother Control Center later. So, fuck you, Zahari. So I also love how the eyeball alien, the Eye of the Tiger here, shown to be basically a natural enemy of the xenomorph and just attacks it. That changes everything when we get back to Neverland Island and we have those two back in the same containment there as well. Could we be getting kind of a T-Rex raptor situation from Jurassic Park where, the eyeball creature may end up saving someone because of this battle here? I don't know. Nice dynamic all around. Fantastic episode in my opinion. Like I've said a million times, I loved it.
God, I just love the way they ratchet up the intensity here. Like, I think they do such a good job of making everything that happens from this point feel like it has weight and stakes. And it definitely does. The way that they shoot this thing, moving around the halls, I think looks awesome. And by the way, great fucking kill for Morrow there. Very Michael Myers-like. Lift the guy up with the knife, shake him around a little bit like you do when you're done taking a piss. Let's go, baby. That's what I'm talking about, buddy. Sorry. I was going to make fun of Jason Voorhees, but I can't do that to my brother Nico. Not anymore. That's how the show started, but that doesn't need to be how the show ends, brother. How the world is, we're going to come together, have a little unity instead. Great fucking kill is all I'm going to say. Awesome. Love the way they shot it. And another awesome shot of the xenomorph, behind our girl here. It's really, this set of scenes is fucking awesome, man. To me, this is when the xenomorphs look their best. They're the way they're shown, the lighting is dim, it's dark. They're scarier this way. Not like super up close and in my face. I really, really like the way they use them here. Again, don't normally like chase scenes, but this one's perfectly timed and executed. The alien crawling out of the eye hole, the guy laying on the ground, fucking awesome. Great shot again. And I love this. I didn't catch the name, but this 1940s, whatever this song is, that's on the record player there. I thought that was really great to bring that back. And I just like the shot that we get when he closes the door behind him, leaves her in the room to die, and just has to look on. Cold-hearted motherfucker, but for the right reason sometimes. Sometimes you don't have a choice. You got to do what's best, and he did. And I love the character decision. Also, we find out a little bit more about who he was raised by here at the very end. She walks out. She says he gets whatever he wants. Good for fucking Morrow, because I think shit's about to fucking go crazy in the next few episodes. Haven't looked ahead. Don't know what's going on, but I'm excited to find out. And they end it with Cherub Rock, baby. Let's go. Great fucking song. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, solid look on the hole in Buddy's chest after surgery and the camera zooming over it. That was good. Great action as Petrovic and Morrow have their shootout, and then Morrow stabbed him. That was awesome stuff. Great adrenaline-fueled scene. I didn't care for Zaveri running from the xenomorph. Like, it looked like she was running or moving in slow motion. I'm not buying that she didn't get got. But then the next scene, the guy definitely is moving in slow motion, so maybe she was moving faster than she looked. I don't know. I'm not a fan of the slow motion edition, though. I don't think this series needs that, and it's not been consistent with what we've seen, so interesting choice that I didn't like. I do like how this one catches us up with episode 1. Like, this is a solid flashback episode. This is how they should be done if you're going to do them. One thing I was waiting for was one of those elite shots that we had gotten in other episodes from cinematographer David Franco. We got some decent shots in this one, but not a standout one. So I looked, and this one was the only episode that Colin Watkinson was the cinematographer on. I hate to knock people who do cool stuff, but you can definitely feel the drop-off, at least I can, from when Franco is the cinematographer and when he's not. So there's nothing wrong with the shots in this one, so I'm not knocking Watkinson. It's just Franco has just been so elite. This episode, it had a lot of stuff I liked, but it did have plenty that I didn't. But overall, I'm just going to give it a 7.5.
You comparing Morrow throwing Petrovich off the blade like shaking your dick after you pee is so funny. Sorry for being inappropriate, but that had me dying.
I'm sorry. I mean, he did. He kind of went like this. He like lifted up and went. I'm like, yeah.
I don't need to see. I don't need to see. Yeah, wait. I don't need to see it.
No, we don't. I don't need to either. But it was funny.
Nope. No, we're good. We're good,
buddy. We almost saw your balls one episode. Kiss my ass. Not your eyeballs.
Promise you've never almost seen my balls. Promise.
Buddy.
I don't know what's going on right now. Y'all got any final thoughts on this episode? I thought it was solid.
Oh, my God.
I'm looking forward to next week. I wonder where they go from this episode, though. Is it going back to Morrow and Yutani, I'm assuming, maybe?
Yeah, because I think they're meeting. The last time we left them, I think they were having a meeting. Where they're, and then Morrow was like, also going to go get some guys and go fucking, like, raid the island, I guess, or do something off.
I want a solo show. As well. Following Stone, Morrow, Steve Austin. That's what I want. And every time
that's what I said in like episode 1 or 2. I was like, I want 4 movies.
Yeah.
Mike, I said the same thing. I want 4 movies instead of 8 episodes. Just follow one group at a time.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But hey, I mean, just Weyland Yutani, we know, wins this whole battle of these corporations because they're the ones that send these ships out. So I mean, we know Boy Cavalier in this. I mean, I feel like this whole island's going to get blown up. I don't know if somebody's got to survive because they got to know that the alien is where they went and got them, and to send out some more ships to go get them.
Fair.
So
Yeah.
Utani and them's got. I mean, somebody's got to survive, but it ain't going to be. I don't think.
Hopefully it's windy, so
Jason X. Good night,
Yes, God.
everybody.
What is happening?
Thank you so much, everybody. I'll see you next week. And in the meantime, take care of yourself.
just want to remind everybody